try to talk to Solus. Wait, that room wasn't there before. I don't think. Ethel Harding must have put my pack here. It makes sense. Better place to sleep than the infirmary. Guess I can spare a few moments to unpack my things. Barrick and his life lessons. I asked him how we were supposed to stop Solus, and he gave me this. Take a long, hard look at it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done. I don't know if I see a hero's face. But it's a face that's seen a lot. Got a few new scars. Some that show up in a mirror, some that don't. But Varric believed in me then, and he believes in me now. I can do this. Best drink of my whole life. Fresh water from this pitcher after Varric and I got out of the trap set by that double-crossing noble. We didn't know how close he was to the throne of Ravane, or that stopping him would get me kicked out of the Lords of Fortune until the heat dies down. If I'd been a little bit less proud of myself, the Queen might not have blamed the Lords for what happened. I have to get better at seeing the big picture. A peddler gave me this after I saved his caravan from bandits. He told me nobles think of ruling like a game of chess, that each move determined what mark humanity will leave on the world. We fight each other, we oppress the elves. We're at war with the Untarm. If our rulers keep treating everything like a war game, the only marks we leave on the world will be scorch marks. Meditation upon the use of blades. Must have read this thing cover to cover a dozen times during weapons training. The number of times I banged my head against this book trying to make the concepts work. But that training has kept me alive so far. Right, that's better. Now, how do I connect to Solus? Just sleep or relaxing? Maybe if I clear my mind.
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
Ah, but perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. I am, after all, remembered as the god of lies, treachery, and rebellion.
I'm not here to debate whether what you said was accurate.
But to be clear, it was accurate.
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Algernon and Gillenane.
I stopped you, didn't I?
You disrupted the ritual.
Yeah, I did. Even though I'm nowhere near as powerful as you.
Your plan is to tell me how powerful you aren't?
Back in the Lords of Fortune, I was hired to accompany this noble who was hunting for an old relic. The noble betrayed us and left us to die in an ancient ruin collapsing around us.
But you escaped with your team and then tracked down and prevented the noble from selling the relic to the Venatori.
How'd you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know that powerful opposition doesn't frighten me. I find a way to get the job done, whatever it takes.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The Elven Gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
What would they need to do to free the Blight? And how do we stop them from doing it?
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My Lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the Blight is the first. What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
You think they want the elves back? I don't think the elven people will bend a knee to blighted murderous monsters.
Agreed. Algernon and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Algernon and Gillenane.
Thank you. I'll go poke at the cruel and the corrupt, and we'll see what we find.
The Veravas, the lighthouse Soluvian, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes, I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
So Solus told the truth about the gods.
You heard? It's bad, Varric. If you'd seen Demeter's crossing...
The team needs to act fast. And it can't do that with me leading from a bed. You've got to take point on this.
I'll get it done.
I never doubted it.
Never mind.
Rook, when I put this team together, what did I look for? A detective to find the Dreadwolf, and a scout to get us the lay of the land. Exactly the people he'd expect me to recruit. Disciplined, predictable. And then there's you. Remember when we first met, kid? That scheming noble locked us up inside that tomb. Tightest corner I've ever been in. But you kept your cool. Fought off the Guardians. Discovered an escape route.
And triggered a cave-in?
The big one. Ravani leaders lined up to yell at you for that, but you've got a knack, kid.
For what?
Finding a way through the wildest shit I've ever seen. With a plan that no one expects. On the best day of his life, Solus wouldn't see you coming, Rook. And don't worry. I'll still be here to talk if you need me.
There is something. Did Nev tell you about me talking to Solus in the Fade?
I had some good arguments with Chuckles back in the day. I can't imagine being stuck with him in my head. But how are you feeling about it?
It doesn't matter how I feel about it. We can't stop the gods without what he knows.
And there you go. You don't have to love him to deal with him.
He also asked me to tell you that he regrets what happened. Hurting you, I mean.
Chuckles is sentimental. He could burn the world down, and the thing that would make him cry is a single flower with blackened petals.
Demeter's crossing was awful. While we were there, we found one survivor, the mayor.
You took him back to the Veil Jumpers.
Not everyone was happy about my decision. We're just starting out and I'm already losing their trust.
The key to earning the team's trust isn't to only make decisions everyone agrees with. It's showing the team that they can tell you whatever's on their mind, even if they think you're full of crap. And know you'll listen.
When I took over at the ritual site, I had to make a call on who came with me to knock over that statue. It was the first decision I made leading this team, and Nev got hurt because of it.
You made a decision with the best information you had. Sometimes you do that, and people end up hurt. Or worse.
What would you have done?
What would I have done? Probably gotten myself killed and failed to stop the ritual if you hadn't stepped in. A good leader isn't someone who never makes mistakes. It's someone who admits when they make one. That's how you earn their trust.
I'll let you get some rest.
You're gonna be fine, Rook. Hey, one last thing before you go. I've been racking my brain thinking of contacts who might help us with these gods.
You got any ideas?
Nothing. But being a leader isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing who does. Nev has connections to a whole world that Harding and I barely know. Might be worth talking to her.
Will do. Thanks, Varric.
Anytime. You can stop fussing over me. Go see what the others are up to.
Hey, Nev. Hi, Wisps.
Yeah, they're still here, but you're here for leads. You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look, if we can get anywhere but Arlathan.
Valara's working on it. What have you got?
Let's start with the angles we know. The gods are corrupt magic personified. Who do we hire to fight that? First, the Antivan Crows.
You want to fight gods with assassins?
Not just any assassin, their most feared mage killer, the Demon of Virantium.
You think a trained killer will like us?
What's not to love? The demon got his nickname taking out blood mages and Venatori. From everything I've learned, the reputation was earned. I never uncovered his real name, and there's been fewer stories the last few years, but the Crows would know. I can set a meeting with their bosses.
This is great. Thanks, Nev.
It's what I'm here for.
You said the Crows were first. What's next?
A trip home.
Back to Minrathous.
Capital city and heart of Tevinter. An empire of mages that knows a thing or two about corrupt magic.
Tevinter Authority.
Won't help and can't be trusted, which is why we talk to the Shadow Dragons. They're a resistance group that fights slavers, blood magic, and imperial corruption. They've got eyes and ears everywhere, including mine. If the gods enter the Empire, we might get something. Besides, I owe them an update.
These people sound great. I mean, if they're anything like you.
No one's as good as they seem. But they try.
So we talked to the Crows in Antiva and the Shadow Dragons in Minrathous.
I wouldn't mind checking in on my neighborhood either. If Balara's ready for us.
Yeah. Should check how things are going. must be two more.
Almost there. I just have to. Shit! Sorry.
Can I help?
No, I got it. Mostly. Mirrors are funny things, aren't they? Reflections. They distort reality, no matter what you try. And there's the trick. Control that distortion. There you have it.
What is that place?
If I had to guess, it's the Fade. Another part of it, I mean.
Didn't Morrigan say this Illuvian could go anywhere? Didn't think that meant elsewhere in the Fade.
She called it the Veer of Us. Freedom of ways. I wonder...
If you have an idea what that place is, Balara, share it. We don't have time to waste.
Some of the older texts talk about a place in the Fade where all the Illuvians meet. A crossroads where you could travel across all of Thedas in just minutes.
Right. We saw something similar when we were chasing Solus. I wonder if it's the same.
It is alike, and it is not.
Who are you? And how did you get here?
The Wolf's Fang. You carry it now. Old paths. A new journey. Through there. I will wait.
Well, can't tell if that's a trap or not. But we're short on options. One way to find out.
And it didn't feel dangerous, you know? Almost more... sad.
No matter whatever or whoever else they are, they're a creature of the Fade. That means they're dangerous. Keep your weapons ready.
And we still don't know what this Illuvian's gonna do. One of us should probably stay behind in case it closes.
Good point.
Just tell us when you're ready to go, Rook, and then we can figure out what's going on.